Matt, what's this about cutting police officers?
Well, basically, we were told by the Community Development Block Grant, the people that administer that HUD, that we could no longer fund 4 police officers out of that grant. So we had to shift those to the general
And that comes
fund.
from the federal government?
Right. And they told us we couldn't use those funds anymore for that purpose. So I went to the chief of police during the budget process and said, look, we can afford to fund 3 of those. Do you think you can do that and not take an officer off the street? So he said, yes, we can do that. We can work with that. He thought the cuts might even be bigger, and he was actually happy that we didn't have to cut more than 1 officer. But the reality is we have the same number of officers on the street. We did this all responsibly shifted those salaries to the general fund, and we still kept only a 2.65 tax increase, which is much lower than the previous few years.
What about this accusation that by cutting this police officer out of the budget, you have turned your back on public safety and the people of Binghamton?
Well, first of all, I think the letter from Chief Tronovich puts that argument to rest. He has embraced our more comprehensive strategy of public and neighborhood safety. If we don't work on all the problems that cause crime, that lead to crime in neighborhoods, like blight removal and prevention, working with our youth and making sure that they have opportunities, especially our at-risk youth, greening and beautifying areas of our city, infrastructure maintenance and renewal. All these things lead to better neighborhoods, which lead to less crime. So we want to make it better for our police officers. We want to make it so they have support behind what they do every day, and that's our strategy. We have the same amount of police officers on the street this year as last year.
And what about next year?
Next year, the same. The chief has promised that 1 officer will not come off the street. It'll be an administrative position.